Hello everybody, welcome to Talk Wrestling here on NoDQ.com and of course NoDQ's YouTube channel at NoDQCW. Thank you guys for watching this week, really appreciate that. Before we get underway here, I want to do a quick plug. Changing my life. DDP Yoga. I've lost a ton of weight already, I'm just looking to lose more. DDPYoga.com. You can check out the DVDs, the program guide, you can get a package deal like Aaron and I got. They've got great things available. They've got a thing there that Aaron got, that I got. It's 4 DVDs, the program guide, and the poster for relatively cheap. So I highly recommend DDP Yoga. I've been doing it for the last few weeks now, and it's been unbelievable how much I've felt better, and I feel the change. I feel the burn, if you will. But it's been awesome. I've been doing it right here in this room, as a matter of fact, with the TV right here, with the yoga mat, and my mom's exercise bike in the other room. It's been great. I'm feeling great. I'm loving life. I've lost. I don't know offhand what the number is right now. I got it written down over here, but I don't want to get off camera. But it's great. I love it. Absolutely love it. All right. First question today comes from Manuel Berla at Mberla. Will Cena win the world title in 2016? You are fantastic, Jeff. Thank you, Manuel. I don't think he will. I don't think John Cena is destined to be the WWE World Heavyweight Champion this year. But I've been wrong before about Cena becoming champion, because in 2014, when Bryan became World Champion, I got a similar question before WrestleMania and was asked if that was going to happen this year. And I figured, well, he's got the Wyatts to deal with, and he's dealing with, I don't think it was going to happen. But Bryan got hurt. Who's the champion? John Cena. Boom. There it was right there. So, of course, I'm wrong. Jeff's wrong. Big surprise. Stranger things, it's my prediction he won't be champion in 2016, but stranger things have happened. It would not surprise me in the slightest. This is from Dilt's Bulberfist at Silent Rage 74. Why do you think Owen Hart was never WWF champion in the mid-90s? He was just as good as Bret in the ring and had more charisma. That's a pretty bold statement there, Dilt. I'm not sure if Owen was as good as Bret. Owen was very, very good. Let's not kid ourselves and say that Owen Hart was not one of the best of all time. But to say he was better than Bret as far as the overall draw, Bret was the champion in a time where it was hard to be champion because the crowds were down, because Hogan had gone to WCW and people were starting to pick up their business, and it wasn't a good time to be in the WWF as far as the champion goes, because you weren't drawing houses in the United States. Overseas, it was gangbuster business, but here in the States, it just wasn't that good. I think Owen Hart may have been champion had Vince not had such a hard-on for Bret being champion. But Vince liked Bret, and of course he liked Shawn Michaels. I think the progression was going to be there between Bret and Owen to maybe trade the championship at least once. But once Shawn Michaels became the guy, right, Roman? It was a matter of time. This is from D-Man at Acting a Fool. Could you see WWE doing a Hell in a Cell match between Sasha and Bayley this year at Hell in a Cell? First time asker, D-Man. No. I don't think we're ever going to see. Not ever. I don't think we'll see it this soon in the new women's revolution. We've been a little over a year now since, a little under a year, maybe over a year now, since this whole revolution started. I don't think Vince McMahon is ready to put the two women inside a Hell in a Cell. Women's cage match was one thing back in Attitude Era, and it happened. So I see it happening someday, just not today. This one is from AJ Wheels at Ken Adamski. What's your favorite year of the 2000s and least favorite year of the 2000s, and why? Well, the easy answer is 01. The easy answer for me is 2000. because you had unbelievable WWE pay-per-views that year. I went to my first WrestleMania that year. That's the biggest reason. My first WWE pay-per-view period I went to that year, actually. WrestleMania 2000. And it was a decent show. It wasn't the best WrestleMania of all time, but it was still a really good show, I thought. And my least favorite is 01. And you're going to say, they did the best business ever. Yeah, but ECW died and so did WCW. Both those companies went under in 2001. 2002 was also a good year. You had the launch of Ring of Honor and the launch of TNA. So my favorites are 2000, 2002. My favorite was 2001. And that's going to be a very weird answer for a lot of you, but that's just the way I feel. Let's see. This is from Luden at the Anime Fans. What could have happened if the Undertaker had failed as a character gimmick? I think he probably would have retired and gone back to play college ball in Europe, college basketball in Europe. That's where he was going. He was destined to play college ball in Europe, and then he got signed by WCW and then signed by the WWF. And I think he would have gone on and probably stayed with the wife he had and the kids he had, and besides his kids, I'm just saying. Probably would have gone to play college ball and maybe pro ball in Europe. Pro ball in Europe, not college ball. Pro ball in Europe, excuse me. My apologies. Pro ball in Europe. That's where I think Undertaker would have gone. And as far as leaders in the locker room, it could have been Brett, could have been Shawn, could have been Nash, could have been anybody. Alright, this is my favorite question of the week. I love this question. Pope Bronson, at Brandon Bronson. You have to book a fatal four-way. 1 star from the 80s, 1 from the 90s, from the 2000s, and the 2010s. Who would you pick? I actually read this one. I wanted to make sure I had my thoughts written down right here in front of me, because this is an important question, because you got to figure, you're basically picking the top stars of each era. For the men, I did men and women. For the men, I did Ric Flair, Shawn Michaels, AJ Styles, and Roderick Strong. Those 4 guys in a match in their prime would tear the house down. No ifs, ands, or buts. It would be one of the best matches of all time amongst the 4 best, one of the 4 of the best of all time. Bill Roderick Strong yes, he is. Roddy's freaking good. He's been good for a long time. On the women's side, I would have done Sherry, since they're still Sherry, versus Jacqueline, versus Trish Stratus, versus Natalya. Oh, you're picking Natty because she's your buddy. Yeah, I am. But she's also one of the best women's wrestlers of all time. And so is Trish. Trish evolved from this literally TNA persona to the greatest women's champion of my generation. And Jacqueline was the toughest broad ever I watched in wrestling, as far as in my lifetime. She's great. And Sherry was one of the best ever. Alright, Jonathan Salter. What's the best crowd chant you've heard at a WWE live event? Mine has to be, which one's Dawson, which one's Dash. That's messed up. I don't see Aaron in the room, but I will mention, we were at a show in 2003. I want to say it was after the Survivor Series. It was after Brock Lesnar had recently tapped out to Kurt Angle. And Brock was coming down the aisle. And everybody was chanting, "You tapped out. You tapped out." Typical, whatever. And all of a sudden I hear out of my right ear, I could hear my right ear back then, "So did Hogan. So did Hogan." It was riffed. Because Hogan had tapped out many times over his career. He tapped out to Kurt Angle even. That was the whole point. He tapped out to Kurt Angle just like Brock did. So it was just so funny to hear somebody just did, and it was Aaron of all people. It was great. That was me, Mike Nagel, Rift, and his dad Zoogs. That was a great match. Great show. Good times. Let's see. This is from Brohawk at Seahawk Brohawk. If you could use Xavier Woods' time machine, which era or specific year would you go back to in WWE? 1998. Easily. 98, 99. I'm watching that on the network right now. It was the best time in WWE history. The TV product was good. The wrestlers were good. The characters were good. The storylines were good. Everything was great. Just phenomenal television. I would go back to there. This is from the Beast Slayer at I Say Whatever 66. What would it take for Paige to get more TV time? There have been at least 2 women's feuds going on instead of 1. There should be at least 2 women's feuds going on instead of 1. Agree? Well, Aaron and I mentioned this on the Money in the Bank pay-per-view prediction show. You can go back and watch it on DQ.com. And the YouTube channel, of course. The women have been almost pushed back again. And it sucks. Because for a while they were getting TV time, they were getting 2 or 3 segments a show, and now they're 1 or even, maybe 2 if they're lucky. As far as Paige, she got a win over Charlotte before Money in the Bank, and been used occasionally, but I think Paige's best time was when she was feuding with AJ Lee, and now that's obviously no longer the case because AJ Lee is gone. So it's hard to say what they'll do with her. Hopefully they'll use her more often. Hopefully they'll give her a run with the Women's Championship to go along with her Divas Championship reigns. Final question today comes from Rexo991 at Rex Jefferson. Hey Jeff, love the shows you and Aaron have been doing. Was Sting a better face or heel during his WCW, TNA, WWE career? WCW, probably a face. TNA, probably a face. WWE, definitely a face. Sting was one of the best good guys there ever was, there ever has been, there ever will be. For him to turn bad in 1999 against Hogan, they immediately rescinded that and put him on the shelf and brought him back as a good guy in 2000. Sting is not a good bad guy. He's just not. And it's not a knock against Sting. That's the love the fans have for Sting. They love him too much to have him be a bad guy. Alright? Thank you all for watching this week. Don't forget to go to ddpyoga.com. Get your program guide. Get your DVDs. Own your life, people. I'm telling you, it'll change your freaking life. It's changed mine for the better. It'll change yours. We will see you next time.